Good afternoon, traders. Today is Wednesday, July 24th. This is after the market close. We'll look at the write-up for today. Um, it's a good day today. Played out very well. For me, one of the things that I judge at the end of the day is how well did my plan work out, and then obviously, how well did I trade it. And it's important to me that the plan works out whether I make money or not, because it gives me the idea that I've got a good read. So that's pretty important. We had pretty poor earnings from Google and Tesla yesterday. And I'm looking here. So we had Google was down 5%, Tesla down 12%. Um, let's see, what else did we have? Visa down 4, Lamb Weston down 28%. Quite the moves today. So, and then we had I think new home sales report was disappointing, and that was early in the day. And then the auction wasn't very good either. The 5-year note sale had a decent tail on it. So anyway, we'll look at the write-up and take a look. Let me get on my other chart here. Okay, so this is a write-up from this morning. Just prepping for this morning. I was just going in the session talking about what happened overnight. European PMI results were also disappointing. And then, of course, our earnings that I just mentioned. So we had a pretty large gap in the overnight session, and there was really good volume on it. I believe it was around 350K at the open, 336K. So that's significant when you have a gap like that and you have that kind of volume. That's something to be aware of. So the only one that didn't gap down at all was RTY. And actually took out the previous high before finally taking out the low, putting in an inside bar. One of the things I was talking about with ES and NQ, close to taking out July lows, we have a gap and go situation. Those lower prices could bring in new sellers, and people get margin called. It could cause people to sell at the open as opposed to maybe trying to buy the dip. And also that we're in negative gamma, which will increase the volatility. So we had around, I believe, 89 points of range or something like that today. It was 120 total with the gap. So a lot of change took place today. This is going from one time framing up to a large gap down and then a trend day down on top of that. So take a look at the trading plans. Any large gap, there's a high probability that at least some of the gap will be filled. And this, in this newsletter, I talk about this. Gaps are measured from the higher low of the previous day. So in this example, it'd be the low of this day to where we open up, which is right here. Very little attempt was made to fill this gap. Sellers just stepped in right from the open. In addition to the negative catalyst, we have more earnings and economic releases before the open, because obviously this newsletter comes out, I believe it's about an hour before the open today. So scenario one, early attempts to fill the gap met with liquidation and new selling. In this environment, we could either see a lack of buyers to take it higher or new sellers stepping in at higher prices. Now today we saw the new sellers. We just kept seeing sellers step in, never really gave the market an opportunity to bounce. And we can see this is a market profile chart. I'm going to move this a little bit here. All right, this is a market profile chart. So each one of these bars is a 30-minute period. The market just wouldn't bounce. We consolidated a little bit, but it just never bounced. So say look for sellers around 72, which is 55, 72, which is approximately a half gap, or the 0DT call wall. Generally, I don't like to get involved, right out of the open, especially on a big gap day. I'll look for an opportunity on a rise to be able to get short. And like I said, we just couldn't get there. Just sellers just kept stepping in. So, and then also For scenario one, monitor for continuation. One time framing down during the session, which we clearly got. We had singles throughout the day. We had a lot of singles on NQ. So looking for that as indication that the trend will continue down. And look for the call wall or the put wall to shift lower. So let me pull in the GEX ray here. All right, so this is the GEX ray from today. We see from the open, everything just kept shifting lower all day long and provided a pretty good level of support until finally taking that out late in the day. So try to get this legend out of the way here. So we can see this wall just shifting all day down, just indicating that there was a lot of negative flow. So the X-ray did its job today. Really great indicator of what's happening, what might happen, or what's going to happen. So I said target 55.41, where buyers could step in. Be cautious since eager buys could front run this level. Short time frame traders should take profit on pushes down. And then strong selling could target 30, 11 to 15, which is a large area, a large supply area. And then below 5,500, target 54.72. So if we look at these levels, and we have 72, this is where I was hoping to be able to get involved. Then this is our 41 level, blew right through that, 30 level. And here's this 15, the supply area. We slowed down a little bit here. But once we got through 5,000, went straight down to 72. Ended up spiking lower, but closed right at 72 level. So we hit the main target for today, and we even hit the extended target of 54.72. So scenario two just never came into play. So the levels worked really good. The scenarios worked pretty good, except for where I wanted to get in. Like I said, we just didn't have any buyer step in, which is a pretty clear signal when you can't get any bounce like that at the open on a large gap, that there's just no buyers present. So that's about it. Really interested to see what's going to happen with GEX. The higher time frame levels. We did have, as you can see here on the GEX ray, we had negative flows all day long. So I'm expecting the high time frame GEX to change. And, we have one of our put walls, our secondary put wall was up here at 47. I also expect this to shift lower. And then our primary put wall is around 53.50. I'm sure it'll probably end up saying there we'll see a little more negative gamma come in at that level. But we'll take a look at all that stuff, have fresh charts in the newsletter in the morning. Hope everyone had a good day trading, and I'll see y'all in the morning.